Hey, this is Evan. I'm going to be showing you how I create a dashboard that uses parameters and filters. The data source that I use for this is from the CDC, and it's based off of part of a population that's been either partly or fully vaccinated against COVID-19. And this is pretty much what my dashboard looks like. And you can see there's a number of graphs. So let's go ahead and get started with how I began the process. So here you can see that I use for the first KPI, I use the partly vaccinated against COVID-19. And that's easily just done by bringing in the field that I'm going to use over here to the text field, and then making sure that I'm using the max for the count. When I use the max, then I'm able to see this number right here, and then I could go into the text and then go ahead and format it to look the way that I want it to. I would do the same thing for the KPI number 2, and I would just basically duplicate the first one and replace this right here with the people that are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. For the third one, since I did not have the fields for people that are not vaccinated, I needed to create that on my own. And the way I did that is basically by creating a calculated field. So I would use I would create a share of people that are partially vaccinated, and that's easily done just by creating this right here. So it would be people that are vaccinated over the population. And then just to create the share of people that are not vaccinated, I would simply just use the one that I just created and then just do a 1 minus that. And that's going to allow me to use this number that I have right here and just switch it to a percentage so I can see this as a percent. For the graph, I just used the share of people that are not vaccinated, and I created another one for share of people that are fully vaccinated. And to do that, basically just showed you how I did that with the other ones. So go into here, create a calculated field, and then use the people that are fully vaccinated over the max population. So once I'm able to put them into columns, I'm able to put them here, and then simply making sure that I align them and not forget to do that, and then use a location as a rows. Once I do that, I go into sort, and I use to sort them by field, descending order, and share people that are partially vaccinated. Then after that, you just basically format it to make it look the way you want it. So I made sure I center the numbers for the fully vaccinated and made them bold so you can easily see them, and then the ones that are on the side are for people that are partially vaccinated. The next one, I created a map that uses vaccination per 100. That's easily done just by bringing the location into the detail page, and then making sure that I'm using a geographic role, and I'll use country and region. So that'll basically allow me to see all the people that are vaccinated per 100 for each country, and then I can go ahead and format that in the tooltip to organize it to look the way that I want, and go ahead and add that percentage sign so that it comes out as a percentage. For the GDP per capita effect vaccination, I would once again use the location and just making sure that I put it into the detail in the label, so I'm able to see the label of each country that I'm using, and then using a trend line, which I'm using right here. Just go into analytics, go into the trend line, and then I'm using a logarithmic one. So that shows a nice way of how people that are vaccinated for the 100 increases while the GDP per capita increases. And then one last thing, the way that I created my filters and my parameters, I use the location and then making sure that I apply it to all the worksheets that are using this source. Once I do that, I apply it to the filters and I rename it to the country so that I can then use it as a wildcard match. So now anytime that I enter in a country, I'm able to look up whatever country I want and get my information based off of that. Now I do the same thing with the continent, put into filters, and then this time I would use a multiple values dropdown and it's going to allow me to choose whatever continent I want to use and apply my data for. And then last but not least, I'll create a parameter using the dates for my parameter. So I'll have a start date using the start date of January 1st, 2020 to the most recent date. I created this a couple of days ago, so I'm using 2/14, so February 14, 2023. And then the way I basically did that is right here. So I'll name it, and then I'll format it to look the way that I want it to, and then this is the current value right here. So do the same thing for the begin date and the end date. Once I do that, make sure that I create a calculated field. So go to calculated field, and then I created the filter selected. So that's basically what you're seeing right here is the filter select date. So we'll go to edit so you can see, and then using the parameters that I created with this being the statement. And I do want to note that when I received the data, the date was as a string, so I just had to make sure that I changed that into a date format. That way I'm able to use it in my calculated field. And that's basically it. So this is the end result, formatted to look pretty nice. I just added some pictures to it, and I used horizontal objects to make sure everything stays neat, using the tiled format instead of floating. And I'll just demonstrate how this works right here. So go ahead and choose a date, and then the data will reload based off of whatever date you use. And then if I want to change the continent, go ahead and do that too. Let's do South America, North America. Let's apply it, and there you go. So you have all this data. It's all connected to each other, so it will all update. You're able to see that that graph nicely change as well as the map. So you're able to see the continents that I chose and their percentages as well. And then we'll go down to how GDP per capita is affected with the vaccinations, and there you go. So, and that's basically it. So this is the sort of stuff I like teaching myself to do. Anything that will save time, that shows multiple things at the same time with the parameters and the filters. As a data analyst, it's always important to just basically continue learning and save lots of time. And projects like this clearly demonstrates it. So hopefully you got some value out of this, and hopefully you learned something, and hopefully we could work together in the future. So thank you for your time.